Welcome to my dearest brothers and sisters. This is Tunia speaking. I love you all so very much, and I want to express that in this series of messages. I am a human, just like you. I just happen to have been born on another planet than Earth. I currently reside on spaceship New Jerusalem, close to your planet. You're Earth humans, I'm a Pleiadian human, but we're both human. If I wore your clothing, I could walk across your streets and people who saw me would think of me as a normal, Scandinavian-looking woman. It's not only that I look like you, I'm also biologically the same species as you. An Earth man could bless me with a child via love making in the normal way. By the way, I love the English term love making. It is beautiful to me that if two people engage in love making, they can make a child. Making love, indeed. The situation on earth deeply touches my soul, as well as the souls of my sisters and brothers here on our spaceship. It is heart-wrenching to us that you, our brothers and sisters, are in so much pain and fear and confusion. As a result, I'm trying to help via this series of messages. At the same time, here in New Jerusalem, we are rejoicing in the progress that we see humanity make. I understand that it does not look like that on the surface, and I do not wish to minimize your pain or suffering in any way, but we are convinced that Earth is heading in the right direction. What is done in the dark shall be brought to the light. We feel that this is a very painful process, and I mean feel, literally, for we can literally feel your pain. At the same time, this is the painful and insight-giving part of the healing process that is going to lead to a better world. We are already working to improve the situation on Earth. A few Earth humans are consciously working with us, and the majority of Earth humans are unconsciously on the same side as us. Just by being kind to another person, or by giving a smile to a stranger on the street, or by doing your best to live your life as well as you can, or just by being a good husband, or mother, or friend, or sister, or son, you too are part of the solution. If the average Earth human was not basically a good-hearted person who tries his or her best, then we literally would not be able to help you. Fortunately, the average Earth human is just that. Sometimes people are confused or misled, and sometimes they are hurt, and this can cause them to act in non-heart-centered ways. Hurt people hurt people. However, most people are fundamentally trying to live their life as best as they can without hurting others. It is this fundamental decency and goodness of most humans that is a critical part of this process. It is fundamentally the kindness of the ordinary person that is ultimately going to create a better world there on Earth. We recognize that you have been suffering a long time. We are doing covert operations to help you. We are also sending very high energy to Earth, which raises the consciousness of Earth humans. I am hoping that you will soon liberate yourself. If not, we will directly intervene on Earth at some point. Source, the one consciousness, the consciousness of everything, the creator of the universe, has decreed that you shall be free, and so you shall be. Us together, your galactic family, as well as a group of Earth humans that wish to live in peace, will eventually succeed. Eventually you will be free and you will physically meet us. That I can promise you 100%. I just cannot guarantee you a timeline. It is likely that your lives will substantially improve in 2024 or 2025, and that you will physically meet us in 2024 or 2025. But this is a likely probability, not guarantee. Still, I am very much looking forward to the day when you are free and we can openly walk among you and offer you a hand or a hug, We do so very much look forward to meeting our Earth brothers and sisters. I am being channeled by an Earthman who goes by his initials A.S. He channels various galactics, but he mostly channels myself, Tunia, and Galactic Commander Hakann. I am a fairly average Pleiadian woman who sometimes worries too much about her son, who has just joined the military of the Galactic Confederation. Hakann is the equivalent of an Earth general. He is respected, but he is not quite as high in the hierarchy as the famous Ashtar Sharan. Hakann is a bit of a workaholic, but he also loves dancing. The primary focus of our messages will be expressing our love and appreciation and gratitude for you. I hope that we can also give you tools through which you can increase your level of consciousness. We are trying to offer you a hand. You are all so much more amazing than your culture has led you to believe. From my point of view, you are brave, you are courageous, you are strong, and you are resilient. It's unbelievable what Earth humans have gone through, and you are still standing. Even people who don't think they've had a traumatic childhood have often had parents that weren't always able to show unconditional love, or they were never taught how to properly deal with emotions, or they were forced to sit still in a classroom for years and study things that they didn't want to study, or they were just lonely at times. Yet, in spite of all of that, most of you have turned into kind, decent people who are doing their best. Most of you are kind to the people around you and are fundamentally good-hearted. I think that's really impressive and inspiring. When you say a kind word or lend a helping hand to someone else, we are cheering you on, even if it's all just too much and you do something that you don't think is productive, like watching a lot of television. We completely understand, especially in these times. Even just existing on Earth is very challenging. We think you're doing great. Better times are coming, at some point in the future, although in the short term there may still be more darkness that becomes visible. So I aim to express my love and appreciation and gratitude to you in a series of messages. I am hoping that my words will hug your heart. Next up, I want to define some spiritual and truther community terms that are used in these messages, because not everyone may be familiar with them. The Galactic Confederation is an organization in which various good-hearted galactic races work together for the benefit of all. The Arcturians and us Pleiadians are examples of races that are members of the Galactic Confederation. Sometimes this organization is referred to as the Galactic Federation, but Galactic Federation is the more accurate term, because a confederation is an organization that you can leave, and a federation is an organization you cannot leave. And in fact, races are allowed to leave, hence it is a Galactic Confederation. Sleepers are those people who still believe the mainstream media narrative. In reality, much of the mainstream media narrative is an inversion of the truth, and if you realize that, you're called awake. The jab is our name for the so-called COVID vaccine. The jab doesn't provide immunity and doesn't stop the spread of COVID. Therefore, it's not a vaccine. Or at least, the jab wasn't a vaccine before the definition of the word vaccine got changed. But we don't play that game. Therefore, we call them jabs. Dark controllers, also known as black hats, also known as the deep state, are Earth humans and a few hostile extraterrestrials and literal demons who seek to control humanity from behind the scenes. They also do terrible things to children behind closed doors. Currently, they are trying to kill 95% of Earth humans and enslave the rest, but they are not going to succeed. Your future is actually very bright. Gray Hats are a group of powerful Earth humans who are actively fighting the Dark Controllers. Sometimes they're called white hats or the Earth Alliance, but we think that the term gray hats is a more accurate term because gray hats are partly self-serving. In some alternative media, they are talked about as selfless heroes who just wish to liberate Earth, and that's true for many of the lower-ranking gray hats. But the higher-up gray hats aren't looking to fully inform or liberate or uplift humanity. They want themselves to ultimately make decisions for humanity from the shadows. So they're not good guys, but they don't have a depopulation and enslavement agenda, hence the term gray hat. Important gray hat members are Trump, Putin, some people in the military, and some people in the secret services. The gray hats are a worldwide group, but they have a very strong presence in the United States. There are very few white hats in positions of power, because good people often don't play the kind of dirty power games that are needed to become powerful. Also, the dark controllers tend to assassinate or otherwise destroy white hats who might enter positions of power. Lots of people in positions of power are either black hats or puppets of black hats. As a rule of thumb, if the mainstream media tells you to like someone, they're a black hat or a puppet of the black hats. If the media tells you to dislike someone, they're a gray hat. If you read that someone's plane crashed, they might have been a white hat, although they also might have been a gray hat or black hat. To illustrate why we're critical about the corporate mainstream media, note their hostility to the movie Sound of Freedom. Then contrast that to their praise about the movie Cuties, with the word cuties referring to children. Remember that I said that many people in positions of power do terrible things to children behind closed doors? If this last part of the message sounds crazy to you, then I suggest spending some time reading the site vigilantcitizen.com. While it's an unpleasant read, I think that site does an excellent job of showing that things on Earth are not as they seem. Next up, let's define the terms third dimension and fourth and fifth dimension. In Earth spiritual circles, these terms are used to refer to levels of unconsciousness and not to spatial or time dimensions. So, for example, third and fourth dimensional people both walk around on Earth and can interact with each other as normal human beings can. We get that this may seem like a strange choice of words. We are just using existing terms that are already in use in Earth spiritual circles. The term third dimension is often used to refer to the level of consciousness of an average Earth human. Meanwhile, fifth dimension is the level of consciousness of a spiritually advanced person who understands, broadly speaking, what is going on in the world. This person will have some so-called supernatural abilities or a very sharp intuition. That said, so-called supernatural abilities may also appear in fourth dimensional people. Fourth dimension is the level of consciousness of someone who understands that some things don't make sense and some things are terribly wrong, but a fourth dimension individual doesn't know what actually is true and what to believe. A fourth dimension individual may have done some spiritual work, but they are not very spiritually grounded. A fourth dimensional individual may experience quite some emotional turmoil. Remember, what you are feeling, you are healing, so long as you don't resist or suppress or try to immediately change your feelings. Back when pretty much everyone believed what the mainstream media said, your society was third dimension. Your current society is in the process of the Great Awakening and is currently fourth dimension. The old society has broken down, but there is not yet something new and better built in its place. You are on your way to a fifth dimensional society. This is a blissful, love-based, Star Trek-like society that many spiritual people are dreaming of. And as the final term, light workers are those individuals whose primary life purpose is to help Earth. So that was the introduction. Welcome to this YouTube channel. New channelings are posted here every Saturday. I very much hope that these messages will be of benefit to you and that they will touch your heart. I love you so very much. Your star sister, Tunia.